Hi guys, welcome back to the Reupload podcast. Today is episode 2 and I have my two friends, Jack and Zane on. Zane, do you want to quickly talk about yourself?
Yeah, thanks Sam for having me. My name's Zane and I work in the film industry.
Okay, and Jack, what about you, mate?
Thanks for having us, Sam. My name's Jack, I'm 20 and I work in the writing industry.
Do you?
No, I'm a music and sound design student at UTS. That's pretty much what you need to know about me.
You do a couple things to say.
Yeah.
Do you want to quickly go into your what you guys do? So first we'll go with Zane and Zane. What me and Zane have a lot in common is at uni, some of you guys might know I created a short film and I've got really into all the film side of stuff. And Zane's been a person that's been there for me and supported me a lot with some of that stuff. You want to talk about what you've done in the film industry in the past?
What have I done? I dropped out of film school. So there's that. But after that, I just worked on a few TV shows and have just been trying to go along with that. You know, I've done some editing and content creation. That's about it for me.
Yeah.
Hopefully more to come.
Yeah. And what was your experience like when you were at the film school? Because I know some people that were, what's the one? The one in the city on Broadway. I can't think of what the name of it's called. But when I worked on that film, when I was the gaffer.
SAE?
Yes, SAE, yeah. So Jackson Flynn Bundy, if you guys are watching this, they both went there.
Okay.
And I worked on a film with them. And they told me their experience. What was your experience? Did you honestly enjoy it?
I only enjoyed the practical aspect of it, but I wasn't a fan of the school, to be honest.
Yeah.
The school system was just never for me personally, so I just didn't mesh well with it, to be honest.
Can I ask, were you expecting that?
Yeah. Not really. I thought it would be good, and then I showed up on my first day and it wasn't. So it's just downhill from there, with a bit of uphill, but ultimately I just realized that practical experience is a lot better than theoretical. And do you ever think about doing the uni option, doing a basic, Bachelor of Arts majoring in film, for example, or just a straight film degree? By uni option, do you mean going to
and studying film at uni?
I did want to. Actually, no, I never wanted to go to uni, actually. I just wanted to go straight to afters since year 6. So you know what? It's really disappointing that it didn't work out, to be honest, but it's okay.
At the end of the day, you don't need something on paper saying, I've studied 2 years of film. Doesn't make you any better than, say, the person on the side of the road that, has worked on 20 films, than next to the person that's, has a degree saying, I have a bachelor in film. Because it does, 100%, mate.
Both.
And Zane, yourself, what about Jack? Sorry. Fuck.
Can I ask you real quick?
Yeah.
Zane, if do you regret at all going to afters? If you could go back in time, would you not go?
No, not at all. It was great.
Yeah, mate. No, fair enough. The boys. Fuck hell.
That's very rude.
We'll just continue. Sorry. No. So, being a film, would you recommend it? So, because that's something I've thought about. Maybe even just doing a diploma for 6 months or a year and studying film. Would you recommend it?
It depends what you want out of it, because it's a good opportunity for networking, for sure. But it just depends on how you learn. It's different for everyone.
Yeah, 100%.
You've both expressed interest in studying films, and you already have. Right now.
Sort of. Well, at some of you know, I went to Notch and Arm and I did a bit of film. Currently, I don't do any film. It's just straight advertising, and it's great, but you really don't get the opportunity at university. You just okay, do this. Make sure your film fits this, this, and this, and then you have the semester, and that's it. And maybe, obviously, I assume it's different in a film course. When you're studying for 6 months, you probably get all different options of what this week you start on your major. The next one, you work on a film that is only black and white, for example. And you probably get more options. And unis, from my experience, it's not that detailed. It's just do this, this, and this. And yes, it helped. I wouldn't know some of the basics, and I wouldn't be able to talk to Zane, for example, about certain things about the film industry. But at the end of the day, if Zane's talking about shutter speed and certain things on a camera, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing at afters. I didn't really know that stuff either. It was like learning practically when I realized like there's so much that I don't know. That's why I decided not to pursue film school, because I don't know, they're just really, I found that they haven't really taught the stuff that you need to know, and maybe that's because like they expect you to know it, but a lot of people don't know that stuff.
You wouldn't, like 100%. Like the film, I was always, like growing up, I've always done YouTube videos, always filming something. Mum's even showing us old footage. Mum found a camera with all this old footage of us the other day, and I'm the kid with the camera out filming myself. And I've always been into it, but I don't know shit about it. I'm just pulling up the camera and like, hi guys, welcome to this. Hi guys, this today I'm building something, for example. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you don't know the basics.
Yeah.
And like you go into the film industry, you go to these courses and you're expecting, you know what? I want to learn about how to use, you know, a camera, how to link up audio with the camera.
Yeah.
Because even so, I didn't know how to link up the audio for this podcast properly.
Self-taught.
Yeah, most is self-taught. It seems like in the film industry, you have to be self-taught to be anywhere successful.
So that's the way.
Would you both say like going to film school would be less about like getting more of like an artistic touch within yourself, or more like theoretical knowledge of cameras and more like application of like what it's like on the set, or less about like actually honing your skills and like making a good film with your own artistic touch?
You know how they say you have to know the rules to break the rules?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We all know that.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it is important to know the rules of like how to make a movie. Like, I don't actually even know the rules.
I don't either,
I can't
mate.
mention
I
them.
feel like there aren't any
There's a
rules.
180 degree rule.
There's a 180 degree rule,
Yeah,
and there's the there isn't. That's the only one I can honestly remember.
That's the only one I can list.
Yeah.
Maybe you can like make rules within yourself, like personal intrinsic.
There isn't,
rules,
and
you know?
that even within it, like I didn't know, just certain aspects of being on a film set, like the roles, like they didn't even. Obviously, I only did the subject. This was only one subject. I did 2 technically film subjects. We only really went into it for one, and even in that, they still didn't tell us much. Like I didn't know what a producer did exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, I know what a director does somewhat before then, but I still didn't know. Yeah, director does this, and this. Directors write. This has helping doing the script, helping, you know, doing the shots, helping doing that, but they don't do most of it. You get writers, but most directors do write nowadays. But
Yeah.
even so, like it's a lot different to what people will think, you know?
I remember on my first day, someone told me, some teachers said, you don't know what you don't know until you realize you don't know it.
Yeah.
Because I was just like thinking like, I don't want to be there. And like that did carry me through the schooling system for a bit. But when I realized like how much I didn't know by actually doing that stuff, I realized like the film school isn't doing it for me. So I want to like really put my energy elsewhere.
Yeah. Well, it seems like film is one of those things, you don't need a piece of paper saying that you can do it. You know what I mean? It's not like a lawyer or whatever when you need a degree or a certain mark. You can go and get a 0 ATAR, for example, and then go to a film school. Or you don't even need to. You can just be like, if film is one of those things, it's all about connections.
Yeah.
And knowing the next person, you know? And you don't need $1 million to go make a film, then publish it, then post it. You only need a couple $100, and then it moves up, and then people might like your film, and then they'll be like, oh, can you come to my festival? I'll give you a cheap discount. Or they'll give it to free, depending on the festival. Like, just working on my one recently, I'm having people sending me comments, oh, come you be in this, I'll give you a good price. And some of them obviously were fake, but there was real ones. There was real intent. But at the end of the day, like, you're not going to learn this from just going to a school and studying for 3 hours. Like, I didn't know any of this shit. I just looked online, and it's all about research. And it's very similar to podcasting and content creating. They all intertwine.
Yeah,
very
I
well.
feel like that's with most things. Like, if there's a will, there's a way. And if
100%.
you're passionate about it enough, like, no film school can like get your abilities that high to be truly great. Like, you can just, if you're that passionate, you'll do it yourself.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. At the end of the day. Well, anyways, would you say that I had a terrible ATAR and I'm doing quite well?
What was your ATAR?
It was a 53.
Dude, mine was 42.5.
Okay, so you're on the same boat. Would you?
I'm lower.
Yeah, well, but 50s almost. It's sort of the same boat. You probably struggle. You probably could only get into maybe what Could you get into any did any universities give you offers?
I didn't even try.
You didn't even try, but you...
I knew straight where I was going.
Yeah.
Guys, together you can easily get into a medical degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could have up to one.
75.
Yeah.
No, but even so, would you say... Sorry.
No, I don't know why we got a low A.
Oh, fuck me. No, it's not. It's 90. 95. No. And what I was trying to say, would you say an ATAR is the end goal? Do you need a good ATAR
Oh, you know
to
that.
do that? I like to know the answer, but I want your opinion.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Jack.
Oh, absolutely not. Well, I just said if there's a will, there's a way. Like,
Exactly.
if you want to be a lawyer, I'm sure you already know the requirements to become a lawyer. You have to be very familiar with sort of the schooling system,
Yeah.
not necessarily, but the processes behind what it takes to learn a large sum of content within a short period of time.
Yeah.
But like for any passion, I feel like there's a whole idea in society of like you need this certificate to get this job, and you need to study 4+ years, get a bachelor's degree, a master's, whatever, and then you can do it. And if you fuck up your ATAR, then you're done skis.
Exactly. Like, even so yourself, like, would you even say music, obviously you doing the music course at university,
Yeah.
and would you even say for the music industry, that's another thing, would you even need an ATAR?
No, absolutely not.
Not at all.
You don't need a degree in music. There are so many, I feel like any job that has freelancers,
Yeah.
you don't need a degree whatsoever. Music industry, so many freelance artists. Writing industry, freelance, no degree required.
100%.
Yeah, that's really true. I never thought about that.
No. Well, would you say then, are these universities, well, it seems like it, they're trying to just use your money, they were trying to get your money just to give you a piece of paper. Like, especially for these certain degrees, these film, these music degrees, these, arts degrees? They all fall into arts, right? These arts degrees, like, you're spending all this money, which is, I'm assuming you're paying something similar to I am, which is, 10,000 plus a year, just to get a piece of paper, when at the end of the day, you can go make the money and do the same stuff. Yes, obviously, you won't be learning the certain stuff, I'm imagining, by doing a job, and it'll be a lot harder to get certain things, but at the end of the day, you're making money when other people are spending it just to get a piece of paper.
I still think the idea of university is really great. Having campuses all around the globe, and you can sort of like collaborate with people globally, internationally through that. And just like, I'm sure there could be another system that exists besides university, but currently I think it's the largest scale existing like platform for people to collaborate from like Australia to Egypt or Australia to US or
you're
wherever.
right, 100%.
But besides that, obviously there are like systematic issues with like finances and like getting into a huge ass debt. Like in the US.
Oh mate, oh my god. My cousin, he for his bar mitzvah, he had a lot of people come, got a lot of money off it, and he's like, well, like, what do you do with the money? College fund. Because some of these college funds, mate, they're like $100,000 for a basic, for like, there'd be something comparable to UTS, where me and Jack both currently go to. The same university, say like University of Arizona, you're paying upwards of $100K and you're doing the same degree.
Yeah, and do you guys know the minimum wage in the US?
Yeah, was it now?
It's like $7 or $8.
$7, yeah. It went up a little. It used to be, I was there 5, 6, 7 years ago. It was like 8.
Right.
Lower? It was a lot. No, maybe it's 5.
I'm going to check.
It was low. Yeah, have a look. And why are you doing that? Another thing, so you've talked to me about like wanting to drop out of university, and you've said it's not right for you.
Yeah.
Do you want to say why it isn't right for you?
Kind of off that passion thing, I kind of went into it hoping to sort of like discover something I thought I could be passionate about.
Yeah.
Which was a bit like ambitious to sign up to a uni degree off of like just that whim. And I discovered this semester I just wasn't passionate. I lost my will to do it.
Yeah.
I'm like a firm believer in if you're passionate about something enough, like you can fit it into a very busy time schedule.
Of course.
And I had a very busy schedule.
Oh yeah,
you're
very busy.
Chose to not fit it in.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, found that out, and it's just not for me.
Yeah, and then you have the opposite. Like, for example, for me, like I didn't know what I wanted to do going to university. I just picked advertising because it was one of the only things available, and I was just like, why not? And now I found. Then going to uni, doing a couple subjects, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I love this film stuff. It would be great to, to get into. And then we did a couple podcast type things, and I was like, you know what? There you go. There's another idea or something maybe I could think about doing. So there's obviously benefits and there's obviously negatives depending on everybody's experience, because at university is very different to high school, as in you're guiding your own experience. In high school, you're really like manipulated sort of to do certain things, I would say. Not exactly, but there's like, everybody has to do English, everybody has to do religion.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff like that. When, example, Jack didn't have to do advertising and I didn't have to do music at university. We both made our own choices, and Zane didn't have to go to a film school. You know, once you get to that, but it's really how much you put into it. It's the best way to put it.
Yeah,
you know?
I like to think that like the things that really affect us heavily in high school, 10 years after we graduate, I'd like to hope it doesn't have long-lasting effects. Like any like form of like micro-indoctrination or whatever. But well, I want to ask, like, where do you boys reckon you'll be in 10 years? Like, in regards to like the film industry.
So, you know, I was telling you about I have those 10 questions.
Yeah.
One of the questions is what do you guys see yourself in 5 years? But
Oh, my bad.
No, but I'll do it.
Man.
Huh?
Yeah, I'll go. Do you want to go
Should
first?
we restart?
No. No, mate. Of course, I'm happy to answer. You want to go first, or do you want me to go?
Where do I see myself in 10 years?
Film industry. So just keep it film industry. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a tough question, bruv.
A way that helps whenever I think about that question is I halve it, 5 years, halve it again, and keep going until I reach tomorrow. And then you can sort of start off with like, where do I want to be tomorrow? It's a pretty long thinking process, but
I know exactly what I want to be in the film industry.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm starting off with advertising, and I want to keep the advertising job, but eventually I'm going to start an advertising business. And that's going to, obviously advertising and film, very similar stuff. What it is, you're filming. Most commercials now are video based, majority of the time. So I want to create a business where it's a film and advertising company, and then the film stuff will pick up a lot more. Like I want to be hopefully producing TV shows, movies. I want to start directing somewhat. Directing is my big passion with the film industry. I really love to direct. I'm a bossy person in general, but then you're bossing people around the set. It's even better, in my opinion.
You're getting paid to boss.
Oh, you get paid to pay, and mate, and the money in movies and being a director is unreal. You're hearing about Tarantino who's making what, $20 million per movie. How much is? Don't quote me on that. I don't know exactly what it is.
Oh, no.
But you hear about some of these directors and the money, and then they're making their own project. That's their passion. At the end of the day, like you're seeing great movies like The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, which was who directed that again?
Christopher
Nolan. Who's he directed The Tenet, and he's directed Interstellar, and he's one of the I think he's the best director in Hollywood. That's my opinion.
He's good.
And you see someone like him who's he's started from doing these low movies, and now every big movie Nolan puts out is massive.
Yeah, can I ask really quick, do you know in the film industry, is there a lot of like selling out?
Oh yeah.
Like if you're a director who's really passionate, even like at the top level, Christopher Nolan or
it would
whoever,
be.
They have to like compromise their artistic vision for like
100%.
It usually happens like in these Marvel films, like they get indie directors to make their films just because they're easier to control. Like they don't really have a say in what they do, so that's why a lot of the films are very cookie cutter. Like it's like a formula.
I like that term.
It is.
Yeah.
So
Cookie cutter.
Chloe Zhao, who just won the Oscar for what movie did she direct?
She
won
did Nomadland.
No, she won the Oscar for that
Yeah.
for
I
best.
didn't like the film.
No,
What was it? Best Picture, and I think she got. I think it was Best Original Screenplay or something, or maybe it was I don't know. She won the screenplay and Best Picture. She just directed Eternals, which was the recent Marvel movie.
Oh, cool.
Which was the first time they've had anybody nominated for any major award to direct.
Yeah.
Like the Russo brothers, you know, all they did before, was it Civil War, I think? No, Winter Soldier was their first one, was Community, which was a comedy TV show, it was very funny, but yes,
Wow.
that was their biggest thing they did before Marvel. And now they're doing stuff like they did that 21 Bridges movie with Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
Great movie, you got to watch it. Really good. But
his
like,
last movie? Was that his last movie?
No. His last one was Mo Rainey.
Yeah.
But like, they're the same. And then you're hearing about they're hearing about like the Hawkeye series about they're these two, I think they're sisters who are directing. I've never even heard of them. But the only big person that I can think of, don't quote me on this, is Chloe Zhao, and the rest are just nobodies. Well, they're obviously not nobodies now, but they started off as nobodies. Like Favreau, one of Favreau's first thing was Iron Man, and now he's like one of the John Favreau, wasn't it?
Favreau.
John Favreau. One of his first thing was the original Iron Man.
The guy from Chef?
No, but he was pretty good before
Yeah,
that.
but did he do anything big though? I don't think he did anything. Don't quote me.
I'm really curious to check now.
Yeah, no, I'm as well. But now he's massive. He's did Lion King.
Yeah.
He's done. He's directed a bunch of shit. But
Yeah. Well, that's quite unfortunate for like people who have to like compromise and
you have to.
stuff. But yeah, what were you saying about like 5 years from now? You're
Oh,
in,
5 years now.
advertising.
I want to start I hope to have a film production company.
Yeah.
And I hope to work a lot. On a lot of movies. Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
I think it's really doable. The advertising. So I want to get an advertising job, and then I want to eventually get create my business, and then I'll do a film advertising business.
Is there something more like explicit you can imagine? Like you can have this advertising business.
Yeah.
But like a specific film that you want made about this specific thing, or just like not necessarily an end goal or an end achievement, but just like the place you want to be. What do you want to be producing? Not what you want to have.
I would love to produce a big budget film. That'd be amazing, and to have I just would like to have a film and be able to have my own creative vision. Not specifically. I've had big ideas, and a thing that me and Zane have talked about. We want to do this film, this zombie type film. When we talked about this,
We did talk about that.
Like I would love to do a zombie film, right? And they had done it. Army of the Dead. Have you seen that?
Half of it.
Great movie.
The funny one.
Great, yeah, it's really. But they did it right, and there's not many zombie flicks that have been done right.
Yeah.
That would be cool, but there's nothing specifically. Like I would like to do. Obviously, I love Marvel. Would love to do. I don't know. A certain Marvel movie would be amazing. Whatever Marvel's looking like in 10 years.
Yeah.
But like, there's nothing specific. I would say.
But so you both have pretty similar goals for the future, with like making a big film.
I do. Yeah, I do want to make movies for sure. I really do.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to be like stressful big. It would be nice to make a Marvel film, or just be on one somehow.
Yeah, it'd be amazing.
Yeah, but that's not entirely the end goal. I just want to make
it's
like a
same with
good
me.
movie.
Yeah.
Same as me. That's not the end goal either.
I feel like you don't need an end goal anyway. It never really ends.
Don't, especially in the film industry. It's always something going on, and it's a very freelancey job, especially when you're like a director.
Yeah.
You might work on 3 films one year, which is is like it's really good. But then the next year you might not work on any.
Yeah, maybe not an end goal, but like an end place, like where you want to be. So you want to be like this top director, but like not yet.
I would love to be able to work on projects whenever I want.
Yeah. Nice.
And not I think that's a great point. Like whenever you want, not having to be like, okay, I got to do this, this, and this, and work on 3 to be able to make it, the right amount of money. I would love to be able to, feel free, if take 6 months off.
Yeah.
I'd obviously be working on something. I'll always be working on something, but like take 6 months off from working on a film, to say, and then do something else. Like Ryan Reynolds was I saw his interview. Ryan Reynolds has been working insanely. There's about 3 movies coming out this year, which he'd worked on a lot after the pandemic. He's got this the Red Notice one. He's got this one with Will Ferrell, and he's got another one that I think the Adam Project, I think it's called. And then he's got another, I think, one more. And he's like, I just want a break because I've been working my ass off. But he's still got his other businesses. He's got his gin company. He's got, he's now owns this mobile, it's like Telstra sort of, but like it is Canadian. It's called Mint Mobile. It's like a Canadian telephone provider or something.
Yeah.
And then he owns a soccer team, and he's got his own production company, which he started recently. And they have the freedom to like take time off working and then still be working on the stuff. That would be, that would be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be something great. That'd be great.
Yeah.
But, we'll see, mate, 10 years from now. Like, what can you think from 10 years from now?
Yeah. It's unfortunate. A lot of those industries seem to be like not a place where you can sort of express yourself, but you're kind of molded into what they want.
You can't. Unless it's something completely original. But how many movies and how many TV shows are original nowadays?
Like
They're not. It's from something. Every film is either a remake, sequel, or comic book adaptation.
Yeah.
What's the most? Can you think of any original movies you've seen?
That's
completely original and not something that's similar. Like you can say it's obviously like something like the Red Notice, completely original. But like there's been movies like Red Notice before. Something that's completely original.
Completely
Less.
original.
You can't.
300.
But even
that
so,
was based off a comic book.
there's adapted. Everything's adapted off something. There's nothing completely original in film and TV anymore.
As in like in like what year span? So like since like 2015,
Whenever.
2016, or like La La Land.
Okay, well there you go. There, 2.
To be fair though, La La Land is heavily inspired by musicals of the 1950s.
Exactly.
Inspiration, as in everything, is it has
Everything,
inspiration.
yeah, but
Like,
there's nothing.
You could say Moonlight's like inspired by like socio-cultural factors within like specific cities in the US.
I've never seen that. It's meant to be like really good. It's quite good.
It's okay.
Didn't the guy win like an Oscar? The main actor won an
Nah,
Oscar.
he didn't win an Oscar for it. The
Oh.
film won.
Film
I think
won an
La La
Oscar.
Land should have won though.
Were they at the same time or something?
La La Land,
2016,
they
wasn't
thought
it?
they won. It was like 20, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
They thought they won, and then just last minute, the La La Land producers, they go like, oh, sorry, this is a mistake. Moonlight won.
Actually,
That's what happened.
Bloody hell.
that's Jesus.
So what? How do you boys both feel about like the comic book films, like the success of them? Do you think they like actually deserve the success? And maybe we'll start with like Marvel. How is it so good, and how is DC so shit? There's obviously DC. There's some that are good, but how is it done so terrible? In like what? Because obviously they're trying to copy the superhero big one
Yeah.
type thing. Team up. I meant.
I don't think the DC films are that bad though.
They're not that bad. I'm not saying they are, but like they just haven't done it right. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like I think the Suicide Squad might be
The new one.
I think it might be the best superhero movie I've seen at the moment this
That
year.
was really good. I watched it like 3
One
times.
I've seen like that and Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi are my two favorite.
I haven't seen it.
Shang-Chi is good. Really recommend it. But like, how do you feel about like what is DC doing wrong or right?
I just feel like, to be honest, I think it's the audience's fault. Thank you, Sam.
It's alright, brother.
I think it's the audience's fault a bit because they complain about it being too dark, and then when they try and make it funny, then they complain about it being too funny. And I just think the audience needs to make up its mind.
Yeah.
So like with Batman vs Superman coming out, everyone was like, this is too depressing. So then they reshot Suicide Squad to make it more funny. And they were like, this isn't that good.
Yeah, it wasn't it? The first one was good.
Yeah, and then Justice League, they reshot that.
I still
made
haven't seen the Snyder Cut yet.
It's actually pretty good.
I've heard it.
So
All about it.
It's good. It's just, I feel like the audience can't really make up their mind on what they want. And so it's a little bit of like a toxic fan culture.
Yeah.
And I think if we all just, chill out and just enjoy the film and not shit on it before it comes out, then could be pretty good.
Yeah. Fair enough. What about you? You love you like Marvel, right?
Huh?
Don't you like Marvel?
Yeah, I do. I really do.
So what like?
Well, I feel like you can pay for success, but you can't really pay for fans. You can in
Yeah.
the sense of like you can sort of like help facilitate getting more fans, more merchandise and whatever.
Yeah.
But to have actual engaged fans, which Marvel does have,
Yeah.
is something that you actually need, I think, content for.
Yeah.
Like decent content. I think Marvel's really great. And what was the question again?
No, I said, why do you think DC
Yeah.
is doing so much worse than Marvel?
Oh, to be fair, I haven't seen too many DC films.
Okay.
But consider...
Well, what do you think?
can-
Okay,
you
since
can
you've seen Marvel, what do you
consider-
think Marvel's done? Why is Marvel so good? Like, what has it done really well?
They stick to their lore.
Yeah.
And they have a huge lore, and there's so many characters, and like each one has their own individual like feature film and then collective films, and like overlapping and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it just makes like the whole like cinematic universe, like society, so like
Yeah.
intact and like beautiful.
There's not many great, there's not many great Marvel films. There's a couple shit ones.
Yeah.
Like I think Black Panther, great movie.
I thought you were about to say shit.
No, mate, it's fucking unreal.
Jack didn't like it.
You didn't like Black Panther?
No.
Yeah.
And then I think Thor Ragnarok, great movie.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Then
that's so
you
funny.
would have got to put Endgame. I think you got to put Endgame and Infinity War. They're not great movies. They're good. I think Infinity War is really good. I don't think Endgame. I don't think it's a good movie as well. But
They go off of shock factor. I reckon.
but everybody had to. You're gonna watch it because it's Endgame.
Yeah,
It's like we've
yeah.
been watching these movies for 10 years.
Yeah.
Like something it was going to be good, but like it wasn't how many Shang-Chi was good, but there's not many great movies. There's a couple great ones, but there's not like you think your favorite movie of all time, or like the best movie of all time in your opinion. How many Marvel movies are you gonna have in your top 10? That are actual great movies.
I probably wouldn't have a Marvel movie in my top 10.
They're not. I love Marvel and like I love it. I know everything about it, but they're not great movies.
I reckon some people would be afraid to say a Marvel movie.
It would be
in their top 10. Like there's a stigma against having like one of those like high budget, focus on action type films.
Yeah. I think I would put Black Panther probably, and that would probably be the only one. I really like Black Panther. That's coming from a white person who gets a body, that's a full African American cast, and but I just thought it was shot so well, and it was a good story.
Appreciate the movie, regardless.
It was a great movie, and it's something that had to be told,
Yeah.
And it was put together, and that's similar with Shang-Chi. That's people like Shang-Chi a lot because there's how many movies full of I think it's like a 90% Asian cast. Crazy Rich Asians as well, which was similar, but with the big Asian cast, but they just was shot. The story was just done so well, and then you think of like, I don't know, Thor: Dark World, which I'd rather kill myself than watch that again.
Right.
It wasn't terrible, it just wasn't good.
Yeah. But do you reckon, because considering that Justice League had a remake, but like they just had the uncut version, do you think that says something about like the issues that DC was facing with having like too much of a cookie cutter vibe?
Yes.
And that like they actually had to release the full film afterwards, and that was actually good.
DC doesn't trust their directors with the creative freedom. I'm not saying Marvel has a lot of creative freedom, but they have somewhat. DC doesn't trust. This is twice it happened. They fired the Suicide Squad director, David. I don't know who ended up. David Ayer started directing it. I don't know who finished off.
Yeah, it was him. He finished it.
He finished it, but he didn't. I think the Warner told him no, and cut out things, and there's supposedly his own cut. That's meant to be a lot better, and the Joker's meant to have more of a story, supposedly.
Yeah.
I heard of that, yeah.
And then you have Zack Snyder they just put Josh Whedon. Josh Whedon also directed Avengers, which is probably the worst Marvel. It's probably the worst Avengers out of the original Avengers.
What?
I think it is.
No.
I don't think Infinity War and Endgame and Ultron I think are better.
Man's
Get out.
chatting
I think they are.
Get out.
I think they are. Whedon did Ultron as well.
Yeah, he did. No, but Ultron was
They both went. Infinity War and Endgame are a lot better, in my opinion.
The first Avengers was so
It was good. No, it was good, but it just I don't know.
First Avengers.
I don't think Whedon's a great director, in my opinion.
He's okay. He's not a very nice person though.
I've heard.
I heard he's just not a good dude, which that's really unfortunate.
I've heard about that. So it is. Well, how do you feel about like certain directors, like, and this is just something that happens in general in Hollywood, people digging up old tweets and finding stuff they said about, I don't know, maybe being racist, maybe we're talking shit about a gay person or transgender, for example. Big example is James Gunn, who directed Guardians of the Galaxy and also directed the new Suicide Squad, which is, I think, the best DC movie. That or Joker.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Like, I got an opinion on it?
Yeah, I don't think it's very fair. Like, I think it's pretty sad of the person to spend their time trying to dig that stuff up.
Yeah.
And then ruin someone else's career because, I believe in free speech and, like, some opinions might be pretty unpleasant. Like, some jokes might not be very funny, but unless it, like, physically hurts someone, I don't necessarily think...
So, Zane, so how do you feel about like what's going on with like the film industry, with like how people are digging up old tweets and stuff about like, certain comments, for example, like James Gunn, he tweeted something about, I think it was gays or something, like 10, 11, 12 years ago. I don't even know what exactly it was, and then he gets fired from Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, now thank God he's, got the job back, but like, how do you like feel about that? Like people getting cancelled over old tweets, for example?
I don't know. I don't think it's enough to really ruin someone's career. I don't think that's very fair, to be honest. Because, we all say stuff and then look back and be like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. And then we become better people and grow and learn from that. And I think that's really important. And if we just have an environment where everyone's too afraid to say something where they don't realize that it's wrong, they're not realizing that it's wrong when they're too afraid to say it. They're just too afraid to say it, so they're not actually learning. And maybe some lessons shouldn't be learnt, but I feel as people we should accept each other's flaws and just accept growth. Because, like, I'm not who I was 2 weeks ago or like 2 years ago. And maybe whatever shit thing that I did then, I shouldn't like beat myself up for it now.
Yeah, no, you're right, 100%.
So I don't think that James Gunn really deserved to lose the job in the first place. But it's really good that he's got it back.
Yeah, great. And Jack, yourself?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with like personal growth. If someone hasn't done like something too like drastic to someone, like committed a hate crime or something, but they've made a tweet which they like dearly regret, but they've like developed past that, then I think that's fine. But I do think digging up tweets is sometimes actually a good thing, because quite oftentimes someone can make a joke and they mean nothing bad by it, but it's hard to differentiate between someone who's making a joke who means nothing bad by it and someone who's legitimately racist and does like terrible things, who is making the same joke. And someone could have made a tweet 10 years ago and since then has made no tweets with problematic speeches or problematic words or any sort of hate association in the tweet, and perhaps they could have stopped making those tweets because they know it'll affect their career. And we can't say for certain that in the modern day
Okay, I'm good.
we can't say for certain in the modern day that they aren't actually racist or they're not actually misogynist or they're not homophobic, because they could have just stopped making the tweets. But at the time they said that, they might have actually been misogynist or homophobic or whatever. So I think there is some benefit or like some value behind digging up those tweets. There is a reason for it, and I think it can be essential sometimes.
You do have a point there.
Yeah, you do.
But why should we be so involved in other people's lives that we're concerned if someone thinks a certain way that's wrong?
If they're racist and they're a director and they're in charge of a crew of like hundreds of people.
But to what extent does a tweet... This is just cancel culture in general. Like, it's people getting, in my opinion, cancel culture, there's aspects which is great. There's aspects it's not great. When I mean great, yes, there's certain things that people should be cancelled for.
Yeah.
But cancel culture is something that's always way too early. Someone shouldn't cancel over one comment because it's not... They might just say it. It depends in context. Yeah. At the end of the day, like, how does a tweet... Yeah, tweet should not... James Gunn was cancelled at the end of the day. He was cancelled.
Was he actually cancelled?
He was cancelled
for... Is he directing now again?
No, he's sweet now. He was cancelled for about, let's say, 2 to 6 months. Or like the usual period, you know, when someone gets cancelled. Cancel culture's problem is it doesn't... Someone shouldn't get cancelled from something that was said 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it should not change someone's opinion on someone. Something they said 10 years ago when they probably just, for the first time, let me write something. Yes, you should not put that stuff on social media. You've got to be very careful with what you say for these reasons. But that doesn't give you the right for, like, people to cancel you, if you know what I mean.
But at the same time, I don't know if I'm playing devil's advocate here now, but it's almost like a bully. Like, let's say like you had a school bully.
It is.
And
I get what you mean.
Became incredibly rich, and then you remember the time that they bullied you and made you cry and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking from experience. Nah, but like just imagine that, and like a school bully, and then you see them and they're doing like really well and they have like all good stuff, and then you remember like they beat the shit out of you or something, or said something really rude to you, or did something horrible. And like that's not enough to like take away their career, but it's like, I guess someone posting a tweet is like the equivalent of a school bully that you see get big and famous, and you sort of think they don't deserve that. They're horrible people.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
But I do think that it is a bit low. It is a bit low to ruin someone's career over that, unless they physically like hurt someone in a very damaging way.
Yeah.
I do think it's a bit low, and I think we should sort of just accept and move on in life and be like, okay, they are where they are. Just have faith in karma and the universe and be like, it's probably going to come back to them at some point. But just move on, because how can we, like, I guess we can learn from other people. We can learn from other people's mistakes and be like, I would not do that. But if we're so focused on other people and what they're doing, we're not going to be entirely able to learn about ourselves and grow ourselves. We're only going to
100%.
learn from other people's mistakes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But-
I like agree with that principle. But we also don't know for certain that tweet isn't the only thing that they've said in that regard.
Yeah.
So I do think like some, not necessarily like cancelling a person, but some form of like micro investigation into like whether they are in the modern day actually like represent the things they said 10 years ago.
The thing is, that doesn't happen though. The
Yeah,
thing is,
but I
you
think
hear
it
about
should.
this happens with everybody. YouTube, for example, obviously you had, I think, what's something recent, David Dobrik. Yes, what he did was wrong, but they never found, there was never enough evidence to prove what happened. Yes, what he did and what the story, I'm talking when I mean, his friend, when raped a chick or had non-consensual sex, I don't know if it was rape exactly what they did, but it was something non-consensual. And then David Dobrik, who filmed before and after, and he probably had realistically, it seemed like he had no idea what was going on. He shouldn't get cancelled over that. Obviously, what you did
It was mentioned in the video.
It was.
Sure.
Oh, it was mentioned.
And
Okay.
then he posted online. So
Well, there you go. He probably didn't know exactly what happened, but at the end of the day, he should not get
it
cancelled.
was pretty explicit.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's certain, that's the point, maybe that you should have got cancelled. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's other things, when I said the James Gunn treatment, Dave Chappelle, for example, when he's joking about, joking at the end of comedy, at the end of the day, is something you should be able to joke about whatever you want, because it's funny. But people take it too serious.
Yeah.
And Dave Chappelle, yes, what he said wasn't, I get it, it was not right. But at the end of we talked about this all last episode on the podcast. But he should not be cancelled and not have to apologise for this and this when it's comedy, because I'm telling you, these transgender people, there's probably transgender comedians that joke about black people all the time. There probably is. I haven't seen it, but there is. So what gives it the right for someone to joke about a certain thing when a certain thing, and then when they get the same joke back to them, as I said, I don't know, but but you should not be cancelled over a joke.
I wouldn't
Over a
necessarily
tweet.
say that justifies it. More so like
It doesn't.
accountability should be held amongst like all people. Although I think there is like a fine line between jokes and actual like hate speech.
Yeah, but
you can make a joke which could be like derived off of hate speech.
Yeah.
But you just need to find that line.
Well, what considers something hate speech is a tweet? A hate speech is
Something that could spread
Yeah.
hate, and something that could like empower people who have those ideals to like spread the same.
Yeah. I haven't seen James Conn tweet, but I think it's something about, I think it was something with the gays, but I assume it was not a hate speech, it wasn't intended to be that way. But the thing is that's what happens. Someone posts a picture about something and it leaves a caption that's wrong. What is considered hate speech? Because some people, it's too general, and people getting cancelled over just making a joke.
Okay, but if we think about it, isn't cancel culture in itself a hate speech?
Yes.
It is, because we're all ganging up on someone who might have said something hateful, but we're ganging up on them with hate.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're looking at cancel culture and being like, we're doing this to stop hate speech, but we're actually not. We're spreading it. It's kind of becoming a hate speech in itself. And I think that's pretty hypocritical, to be honest.
Well, more specifically, hate speech is usually targeted at like a specific identity, something that like someone is without regardless of like their control,
Yeah.
who they are. And then cancel culture, or someone who's cancelled, usually just comes from like an action that someone did, which was very incorrect.
Which is usually to do with obviously a hate speech.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or, well, someone thinks it's hate speech.
But when we target someone in cancel culture, we're sort of defining them by what they said. And I don't actually ever think it's fair, to an extent, to be defined by your mistakes.
Exactly.
I don't think that's fair at all, because
That's what happens, though.
it's just not like, I don't know. That was a movie I was watching once. It was like some foreign film.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a scene where this teacher did an experiment with his class where he defined the characteristics of 3 politicians. And like both of them, he mentioned like were alcoholics and abusive and like always cheated on their wives and like just not good, like smoked cigarettes all the time. And then the third person he mentioned was someone who loved animals, and just like mention good characteristics, and it turns out the first two people mentioned with the bad characteristics was Roosevelt and Winston Churchill, and
Yep.
then the third person was Hitler, and everyone was blown away that it was Hitler because they were like, by the way that the teacher described him, he sounded like a really incredible person until you found out who he really was. So I don't necessarily think it's fair to define ourselves by our mistakes or define people by their mistakes, because you could have people that do not great things, but in this situation, two of those people led a country.
Yeah.
Yeah, good people can make mistakes.
Well, you can realistically, you can change anybody's character, and by talking about certain people, you can come across their negatives, and then that's which would. It's obviously this film that got created. You know, talk about a person's negatives. Yeah, you can make a good person sound negative, but then you can do the opposite and make a bad person. Hitler's one of the worst, especially us being Jews. Hitler's like, you fucking hate him for obvious reasons, and he's not a fucking good person. But you can still talk about a certain person's character and make them sound good. But you're right. Someone should not be cancelled for saying comments.
But you got to think back to why cancel culture exists. Which is to essentially stop people with hate ideals from spreading those ideals.
Yeah.
So I suppose there are like some lines lost in translation with cancelling people who are meant to be cancelled. But also, I'm trying to recall, I can't think of anyone who has properly been cancelled.
Nobody ever gets cancelled.
Someone can get cancelled for like a few weeks, couple months. Perhaps they stop posting on social media like David Dobrik did for several months.
Yeah.
People stop liking their videos, dislikes and whatever. But
nobody's ever completely cancelled.
Yeah. No one leaves social media or the platform. I've seen.
Have you think?
Donald Trump, I suppose he got banned from Facebook, but he's still. I wouldn't say he's cancelled. He has a huge.
He's not cancelled.
Okay, but what are we defining cancelled as? Because I just thought it was people who like lose careers and stuff.
It can be. It depends. It's really cancel culture is just being cancelled. It can be cancelled from the internet. It can be cancelled from your career. It can be cancelled from a lot. You know?
Yeah.
There's no one that it's too general.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and that's obviously needs to be worked on.
Yeah.
Not even worked on, but like you need. If we're talking about this cancel, you should. If someone does something that bad, they should be cancelled from everything.
The greatest example of cancel culture I can think of in the modern day, which I think is a really great thing, is not celebrities, but there are like just average civilians who just make a very a very racist or homophobic comment, and then they lose their job. There was one person in Melbourne at the beginning of the lockdown. There was like a Haredi party for a wedding. Whilst there was lockdown, there was about like 50 people at a party whilst there were restrictions.
Oh, that pissed me off.
And yeah, it was a terrible thing, but someone made a comment that was like very, very anti-Semitic, based off of like this one event, and they lost their job.
Well,
because they're like in the city council or something.
Yep.
And I'd say that's being cancelled, and I think that's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
There's fair point. There's points when yes, people should be cancelled. There's obviously points when not, and that's obviously a good example.
But are we just saying that because like we're Jewish?
No, but like it's saying
it
a
was
bit
genuine hate.
Yeah, if it's genuine. Anyways, let's move on. Let's see. Why don't we? Do you want to talk about being a Jew growing up in Australia? Like, obviously, we're going to have different perspectives, but like, obviously, my perspective of going to Catholic school, not really being in the Jewish community as to the extent you guys were. You can talk about being an Asian Jew, and
we have very different experiences.
We all have very different. So, obviously, mine. I went to Waverley College, which is one of the biggest Catholic schools in Sydney, and I was scared because you would always hear about Jewish jokes and stuff in school, and I didn't want people to know what I was in the early years. But eventually, I just didn't care anymore, and I just told people. And people accepted it, but you would still hear a lot of jokes and stuff, and people being anti-Semitic all the time, and it continued. But like I just took it on the chin, I just didn't care anymore. But like you'd hear it, but it's not like the worst thing in the world. But like you hear stereotypes, especially being in a Catholic school, and people joking about bacon and stuff like that, which I eat bacon anyways. But I get the point of what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
What about you good boys? Tell me. experience?
Well, I think we were very fortunate to be able to go to a Jewish school to like help facilitate our own identities within Judaism.
Yeah.
Personally, like, it's great to have a place where you can have your own like culture and identity, which is quite a minority within Sydney already.
Yeah.
Where it's majority, or pretty much everyone is Jewish. Although if you go to a school like that with another identity, which is quite minor, it can make like a minority within a minority sort of. So being half Japanese there, whilst there were probably like 3 other Asian people in the entire school.
Were they Jewish as well?
Yeah. It made it like feel quite isolating, you know?
Yeah.
I suppose also being at the forefront of a lot of like microaggressive Asian jokes.
So there was racism at
I wouldn't say like
the school?
It wasn't like intense. It was just like I wouldn't say racism, but it was just like
Just jokes, like
very
similar.
obvious that you were not like I don't want to say not the same, but like obvious that you had this identity and it was instilled on you by other people.
So like similar to me. Similar to me.
Yeah.
It's what I experienced. Yeah.
I never participated in these jokes.
You're a good man. Good on you, brother.
Yeah.
No, but you'd hear them a lot, but like, it didn't bother me because it's just a fucking joke at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But like, obviously, some people would be affected by it and would be considered bullying. It's not. It's really bullying is nowadays is just how you come back to it and how you feel about what is being said, and obviously there's situations when it's different. But like joke wise, that's what I mean.
Do you reckon it made your identity stronger?
Not at all. I would say it's the same. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I just took it on it was just something you'd hear at the end of the day. Because like all my friends were Catholic. I didn't have any Jewish friends until maybe when I was growing up I did, but I don't remember. I didn't have any Jewish friends until recently when I met you boys. And it's you'll just hear it. It was just like, you know, like it wasn't like hello, but it was, you'd hear it every once in a while. It was just like another thing, and you would hear more jokes when we'd play like Jewish schools and stuff.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, once it's all through maturity at the end of the day. Like once you get to year 11 and 12, people mature, and then I would have told people when I was in year 10, then people just didn't bother me, you know. And if I did get bothered, it wasn't anything that serious. It wasn't like there was Hitler jokes or anything, which Hitler jokes I don't like, and stuff that in Nazi jokes, but like the usual Jewish joke about how I'm rich or something, which is, it could be annoying every once in a while, but it didn't take it to heart.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Zane, what was your experience at the moment?
Yeah, what was it like? The boys went to Emmanuel, by the way. So shout out to all the Emmanuel boys.
Yeah.
Any of the Emmanuel boys watching, shout out. Some of our mates, we know who you guys are, who are definitely going to watch it. Yeah, you're going to have to tell your experience of Emmanuel when you're on.
Yeah, my experience of Emmanuel. To be honest, I didn't care at all.
Yeah.
I didn't care about the school. Like, yeah, it was alright. There was just 1 or 2 good teachers. But other than that, like, I didn't care about the whole Jewish part of it. I just didn't. I just noticed a lot of stuff pretty young that just didn't seem very fair. Like, one rabbi was like retelling some Jewish story involving Greeks, and the way he described the Greeks, he was like, oh, those horrible Greeks. And I just like thought to myself, I was like 12, and I just thought, well, that's not very right to talk like that at all. That's actually very manipulative. But I just sort of figured that out, and I just like switched off, to be honest. I never, I don't know. The Jewish community, like, yeah, it's chill. Like, it is what it is, but
Not many of us.
I to be honest, like, I don't really find that they're too nice, to be honest. It's like very cult-like, to be honest, in my opinion. So like, I just like told someone a while ago that at the time my girlfriend isn't Jewish, and he told me that I'm continuing the Holocaust.
Oh, people take offense to like dating non-Jews.
Yeah, but it's just so stupid because it's like, why are you comparing me to like
Fucking Hitler.
Why are you comparing me to like Hitler? Like the people that did horrible stuff to.
What are you joining a non-Jew? It shouldn't bother anybody. Yeah, what?
Yeah, and it's just stupid. Like after that, I just like switched off from it, and I thought, yeah, nah, it's too much of a bubble, to be honest.
It is.
I'm not a fan of it. It's actually really exhausting. I remember just like I was doing coffee catering, still do it sometimes, and just I guess I would find sometimes it would be very nauseating, like being in like the same room with like so many. Not because there's anything wrong with Jews, not at all. Like, nothing wrong with anyone. Maybe it's just the people. I'm sure elsewhere
probably.
Jews are like. I'm sure like there's Jews that I do vibe with, but it's not because they're Jews. It's because
we're not friends because we're Jewish. We're just friends.
It's just the people. But I guess I found a lot of the people in the school that Jack and I went to, they were just like really fake, and I don't know.
But that might also just be a general human thing.
Yeah,
Every
it
school
could
will
be.
have fake people.
Yeah, well, same as mine. But like, at the end of the day, the thing about the problem with school is you're forced into school and you're there. What time did you both join Emmanuel? Year 7 or year?
I was year 7.
Year 7?
Cornwall preschool.
Preschool. So you've been there since so you've done kindergarten to year 12.
13 years.
13. That's crazy, bro. But you're stuck with those same 200, 100 people for your whole schooling experience. And you're put into a bubble of like, oh, you got to be friends with him, and him. You know how many kids I'm friends with that I went to Waverley with? 5 maybe. Not 8, 5 or 6 maybe at most. I have more friends that didn't go to Waverley than did at the moment, and that's the reason, because most of these kids were fuckwits, you know.
Yeah.
Some of them are good, and like everybody who's watching this podcast, I fuck with all of you, even the ones that I'm not hanging out with. But there's other kids who obviously, you know, you didn't like, and because they force you in a bubble. And there's nothing wrong with some of the certain people, but like just didn't get on with them, which is you don't have to get on with everyone. You don't have to be friends with everybody, but you know. And then I assume those kids, but like we're back to the Jewish. I assume nobody didn't want to be friends with me because I was Jewish. Well, maybe they did, but not that I know of. And anyways, let's move on. So you just recently moved out, Jack.
Yeah.
Oh, your house. Yeah. How was it living by yourself? Were you living with roommates, but not living with your parents and siblings?
So it's quite nice actually, living with 2 mates. We already have experience living together somewhat.
Yeah.
So like, there's very little friction, if zero friction whatsoever.
Yeah.
Which is very nice.
Yeah, that's good.
It's very liberating. You have complete autonomy over like what you eat, like what you have in your room, essentially like every detail of your life, which also is a bit intimidating.
Yeah.
But like, it's something everyone has to do at some point anyway.
Yeah.
I suppose like some people sooner than others, either based on like things that they can't control or things that they can.
Yeah.
Fortunately enough, I had the ability to control when I got to move out, which was 3 weeks ago, 2021. Yeah. So it's been great.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like obviously you have more commitments now.
Of course.
Everyone within the house, like absolute best friends prior to moving in, and now we're all just kind of like extremely busy and have no time to really like chill with each other.
Really?
Besides like, I don't know, maybe we'll make food together and have lunch or dinner together.
Yeah.
But besides that, we don't really have much like hang time.
Yeah.
Obviously like you're spending 24 hours a day together, so there is like time here and there.
Yeah.
But it's like quite, not much time. But
yeah.
I don't know, the idea that you can have your own place and you can choose everything that goes on there, what is there, what you do there, the people you have there is like a very liberating feeling.
And you enjoy it? You've enjoyed it so far?
Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a lot.
That's good.
Yeah.
Have you thought about moving out yet, Zane, or have an idea do you want to move out?
Yeah. I do plan on moving out with someone special.
Yeah?
Zane and the missus.
Oh,
Zane and the missus, yes. Would love to move out with my partner. That would be.
You can say a name if you want. Say up to you.
Oh no, it was a girlfriend. There's nothing wrong with her name. I just didn't think about it. No, but I'd love to move out with my girlfriend. That would be pretty great. I remember Jack asked me to move out with him once, and
did I?
You
Did
don't
you?
remember?
Man,
You
Tell
don't
us the story.
remember?
Tell us the story.
I don't really
No, well, he asked me to move out. Well, you offered me
Mm.
if I wanted to move out with you, and I would have been down to do it for like a week.
Just weren't ready.
No, it's not
long
that.
term.
It's just because Jack is one of my best friends, and I didn't want that friendship ruined with me getting pissed off that he didn't wash some dishes or I don't know stinks or something.
Thank you.
Or
Jack always
just-
stinks anyways.
Yeah.
or just
I know,
Joking.
yeah.
I don't know, like
Joking.
trashes the living room or just like doesn't wipe in the toilet or some shit.
Like, okay.
You make you sound like a terrible person. What's wrong with you?
I don't want my bottom.
Nah, I just want to like keep it as like one of my best friends, not like someone
Fair
I'm
enough.
living with that
Yeah.
Fair enough.
when I move out I might be like, oh fuck that guy.
Yeah, you might hate him.
He sucked at
Yeah.
cleaning and keeping his room tidy and just keep like paying the rent on time and
Is it tough? back into. I was trying to say, how do you? So we talked about obviously living on your own, and
Yeah.
you know just having to worry about the commitments of money and paying rent and stuff. And you being okay with that, like at the moment, you're not struggling, you would say, or it's not just worrying.
Yeah,
You're not-
so I had 2 jobs when I moved in, and I quit one of them to focus on the other.
what was it?
Go on. We just had
Yeah.
a moment.
That's lovely. That's lovely. And now that there's just one job, finances are a tiny bit more tight.
Yeah.
Which is like a fine thing. Like
Yeah.
my own decision.
Okay. But mentally, you're okay.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
It's been very nice to like
That's good.
be there.
That's good.
Yeah.
And moving on from that, let's talk about. So you boys both have girlfriends. What is it like to have a girlfriend at the moment, or is it like, are you having a good time with your girlfriend?
In 2021.
Yeah. So what's it like being consecutive? Maybe okay. Being different race to your girlfriend, for example. What's it like for that? I don't know. Is it difficult having a girlfriend in 2021, just in general?
With different races, or
Well, just in general. Just you give me your opinion.
I want Jack to go first for that.
Oh,
I'm really interested.
Yeah, it's good fun. You do stuff that girlfriends, that people who are dating do.
It's too much information.
You go on walks, you hold hands, touch pinkies.
That's
sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. And it's nice to have like your boo, you know?
So, is that what you call it?
Is that what you call it?
Touching
My
pinkies?
boo.
Your
And we
boo,
touch pinkies.
you touch pinkies and call it your boo.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's very nice. It's very nice.
Zane, what about you?
I don't actually know how to describe that. Yeah, it's great. It's really good fun. It's yeah, exactly what Jack said. Just you know what? No, it is actually nice to have someone to like share stuff with.
Yeah.
It's really nice. I think happiness is only real when shared. So it's like nice to share achievements with someone.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
you
good.
don't really think about it in the moment when you're on your own, but like when you have someone to like tell, hey, I got a new job, this or that,
Yeah.
and like they celebrate with you, and
That's good.
it's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's good.
it's more special than touching pinkies.
Yeah. Jack.
Agree to disagree. Touching pinkies. Is it like-
That's been the clip of like the first clip I put up. Touching pinkies. That's the
Touching
first clip that
pinkies.
goes up on Instagram.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway,
What about you?
I'm single as fuck, so you're asking the wrong guy.
Do you want to be single? Are you looking for someone?
I'm always looking, but like I obviously wouldn't. I don't care. I'm just living life. At the end of the day.
How does that make you feel?
It feels okay. It's not like if say I had problems with friends or something, or I didn't have good friends, maybe that would be a different perspective. But because I do, you know, it doesn't bother me.
How's your
And,
relationship with your beagle?
It's great, but that's my dog.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, no, I love my dog.
Why'd you say but?
Yeah, because we're talking about relationships with girlfriends and you bring up a dog.
Yeah, but
Well,
relationships.
there's always options.
Yeah, and also relationships doesn't necessarily mean like sexual. It could be very platonic.
Fucking hell. Yeah, you're not wrong. No, but yeah, I do love my dog.
You little dog.
You little dog. No, but yeah, I'm always looking for women. So for any women, want to date a 6'1" Jewish man who can make a podcast, let me know.
6'1" is the size of his dick.
It is. Yes, it is.
6 feet and 1 inch.
And moving on. Oh my god. Okay. So, anything else you guys want to talk about, or I can get on to this thing we call the 10. Anything you boys want to ask me? No.
Anything?
Anything?
Any undying?
Any questions you want to know?
What do you want to ask us?
I don't know. I'm pretty happy with everything. Anything else you want to talk about?
No. No questions.
No questions.
Why'd you start this podcast?
Dude, I was gonna ask that.
Fuck off.
Okay. So I've always wanted to start a podcast, and this is something I was looking. It was something, and it just happened to be the right time. Like during COVID, I was thinking about it a lot, and I thought, why not start? And the main reason was to get some of my friends and to talk about life and learn more about my friends and learn about their perspectives on stuff that we haven't talked about. So obviously, we've been able to do that so far on the show.
Yeah. And
I've done that last episode with Jason and Isaac. But it's good to talk about people's perspectives, and I obviously love having a chat, and it's good for other people to talk and not me just talk over them every second. So I thought this would be a good idea, and I don't know, I've enjoyed it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy with it. And obviously, I want to get back into the film and stuff, but this is my main focus, apart from uni and work at the moment. And basketball is there. It's not fucking king.
Nice.
And what about you guys? Would you ever start a podcast?
Absolutely.
I'd be in one again.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely have both of you on.
Oh,
again.
really?
Yeah, 100%.
A reunion episode.
Oh yeah, there will be. There's a Jason.
Please.
Oh yeah, 100% will happen.
Lovely.
That's so good. And I'm trying to think what else. I had another question. No, well, what do you think? How is it? Again, how has it been from going from before COVID? What was your life? What was your life before COVID?
Holy shit!
What was it after? Have you had a better time after, or would you say a better time before? How much has your life changed, as well? So for me, for example, obviously before COVID was at high school, struggled with friends, and then in between and after COVID, I've turned into a better person, I think, and I feel like I'm hang out and spend my time with better people, and I'm living a better life because I didn't have a great high school experience, and I graduated just before COVID happened. Was COVID started 2020 and graduated end of 2019, so that's my opinion on it. But you boys, any thoughts?
Yeah, life changed a lot. Started COVID in one relationship and changed. That changed during COVID.
And then you're dating your lovely girlfriend now?
Yes. Which honestly, I look at everything and obviously it's not great that COVID happened. A lot of people have been affected by it, but yeah.
Would you say you had any negatives to the COVID? When I think about it, yeah, obviously we were quarantined for that time, but that time, gave me thoughts and ideas, which this was my big thought of COVID. And now we're filming a podcast. Who thought of this, 6 months ago when you met me, that Sam was going to do a podcast?
Yeah.
Probably didn't think that.
Yeah.
So there's obviously positives and negatives. Do you have any positive negatives when we were in quarantine?
You never know what to expect.
Yeah, I'm just grateful for everything that happened before COVID and through COVID to lead me to where I am now.
That's good.
I'm super grateful for it.
Well, it's good because it's I think quarantine was one of the biggest learning and growing growing and learning periods of most people's life, because it's how often do you just stop? When's the last time you stopped? This not including quarantine. I can't think of a time I've just stopped, apart from being sick and stuff, but just stopped and there's nothing wrong with you, and you just were forced to do nothing.
Yeah.
It's growth. That's why quarantine, obviously I hated it because I wasn't able to live my normal life and do stuff like this, but at the end of the day, I learned and I grew, if you know what I mean.
How do you think you would have grown differently if it wasn't for quarantine?
I think I wouldn't have had the time to do stuff. I wouldn't have been in my brain. I would have thought of ideas, but I wouldn't have the time to, write down those ideas and, come across the rule. I'm a planner.
Yeah.
I like being, and I feel like I'm a spontaneous person as well. That was pronounced that terribly.
What did you say?
I can't pronounce
Spontaneous.
Spontaneous.
Yeah.
Everybody say it like that from now on. I can't, how do you say it?
You said yes.
Anyways.
Spontaneous.
I feel like I am. But I had time to plan and think of ideas, and then ideas turn into stuff like this. And this was my big thing. But I was so focused on this. I've been focused for this for about 2-3 months now. But that whole last month of lockdown, this was all I was thinking and planning for, So,
How long did it take you to plan this? Like, what went into the planning?
Oh, everything. Equipment, logos, title of the podcast, how I was going to do it, what it was going to be about, co-hosts, which I had problems with my co-host, but that's all sorted now. Let me see, where I was going to film it, where I was going to upload it. There was a lot of factors, and everything went pretty to plan, as I said, the co-host, but that it changed, but it's gone pretty well to plan. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the process, and the best part is this:
Nice.
having friends and talking about your life.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And what about you, Jack? Anything that you've grown or changed or
from lockdown?
Positive? Is there any positives or negatives from lockdown?
Yeah, I found two big things. One, it made me more grateful to because throughout lockdown, I think something everyone got to see a little bit of was how many people were affected, like people who died, people who got really sick, lost their jobs. Like a lot of people had to go through some terrible things, and some people were fortunate enough to not have to experience that. And that was something I was very grateful for, as well as being grateful for the things I didn't have during lockdown. So not being able to see my friends. Just general gratefulness. Another thing, I found myself becoming a lot more nostalgic. And I don't know if that is a thing of having just come from my gap year as lockdown ended. Or a lockdown thing in itself of not having access to all these things you did before. I think it could be both of those working in tandem, but I'm not too sure. And so I think about quite often is just did you guys find yourselves becoming more nostalgic for our lockdown?
Yeah, I whipped out my PS2.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, probably. I don't know. I watched a lot of old stuff, a lot of old movies, and I caught up on stuff I've missed out on. And I would say somewhat.
But there's catching up on old things, but feeling that internal sense of connecting with your roots from your childhood, or things that you were very familiar with, that you aren't with anymore.
Started playing video games more.
I'd say, I guess so. Yeah, I don't really have the time to play video games anymore, but I definitely did that a lot. So I guess
You think inspired by lockdown or just a general thing?
I'd say lockdown.
The PS5 came out.
I did,
So I just bought it.
I don't know. Probably a bit of both, I guess. I don't know. In the lockdown, I assume this was the same for a lot of people. You had a lot of time when you're like, what the fuck am I doing? What the fuck should I do?
Yeah.
Obviously, I had plans and I did certain things and I worked on things, but at the end of the day, I wasn't working this podcast 24/7 before lockdown, and there was months before I wasn't even. I didn't even know what the hell I was doing. Honestly, I can't even think what I was doing for that time. Uni, I guess, but even we still had over 2 months. We had 2 months off before uni, the start of lockdown. I don't even know what the hell I was doing. So, There was just days when I was like, oh, what did I do again? You know what I mean? I assume that's the same for a lot of people because you had to waste time. That was the worst thing about lockdown. I hate wasting the days.
Yeah.
That's something I hate in general. You know, you want to do stuff and, you know, live your life and have great days, not waste the day. Like, you know, you want to enjoy that day.
Yeah.
And there was obviously days I enjoyed lockdown, but most of the day I was just like, oh, it's just another day. I couldn't even tell you if it was a Tuesday or a Friday, you know? But anyways, do you feel like you boys have you had a good time since out of lockdown? Have you had a good, it's been about a month, right? About a month? Have you had a good last month?
Yeah, month.
Have you had a good last month? Moving out, obviously, that's a big positive, but like anything else you've like enjoyed since being out of lockdown?
I got to go to the movies.
That's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
See any good ones recently?
The new Bond. We're gonna cut that out. No.
What are you saying?
The new Bond film was really good.
I've heard a lot of good.
Are you allowed to go in? I think it's like MA 18 plus or something, or 15 plus.
It's M.
Oh, M.
You've got to wear masks.
Don't worry, it's M.
You still got to wear masks in
Your
movies.
voice was
Or was that changed again?
Huh?
You still got to wear masks in movies.
Oh.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, fair.
You don't really have to. You just do the drinking and eating thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so James Bond was good. I watched like this film called Pig
What's that?
with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, yeah.
The truffles.
Truffle Pig, yeah.
Yes.
Mate, it's Nick Cage. What a man.
It's actually a really good film though.
Nick Cage isn't a good film.
It's a good film.
Unbelievable.
He doesn't have a bad film.
No, it's actually a good film. It's like a really sad film,
Really?
but it's really good and like
Nick Cage can act. Can't believe it.
it's super sad, but it's like also really funny. Like he takes a bike from a kid on the street and like screams at the kid as he's doing it, so, like, just to scare the kid.
He's a prodigy.
So rad.
And then he's like in like a bakery, like and he's like taking bread,
Yeah.
like some like biscuit or some shit,
Mm-hmm.
and he picks it up, looks at it, and then puts it down and takes the other one. And it's just there was like no context to that. I don't know why he did that, but it was just so funny.
Interesting.
It was,
I feel like he has an artistic vision most people can't understand.
Yeah, Nick Cage is a different animal.
he knows what he's doing.
Same beast, different animal.
He's in his
Jack,
own race.
what about you? What anything? How's your last month out of lockdown? What?
Yeah,
What
like
It's been good?
at the beginning of like the end of lockdown, it's kind of like all the things you're excited for and all the things you want
Yeah.
slowly come back. Actually, not slowly, quickly come back, and you have that like
So quick, mate. It's been a
week
month,
or
eh?
2 weeks of like pure excitement, pure bliss of like, oh, I can now go to the club, or not club, I can go to the bar with my mates. I can
Club Kings here.
I can do what I couldn't during lockdown that I really wanted to. And then you find like soon after that, the stresses you had before lockdown come back.
Yeah.
Because obviously all the commitments you had prior to.
Well, obviously you're back in the.
Yeah, you go back into the flow of things.
Yeah.
But I do think like it's not the exact same as it was before. You do go back into like
So many restrictions.
gratefulness, I think, again. Like going back into that lockdown and then coming out. Even though there is that stress, there's like, yeah.
I'm just happy to live my life without being restricted.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're still. I think we're certain restrictions. I don't know what the hell they are anymore. Mask wearing. There's a couple other ones, but like, we're pretty much back in normal life. You can go to a nightclub. You don't have to wait 4 hours before you can get in within 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know. Okay. Well, that was great talking about all that stuff. Wait, actually, let's quickly talk about this. We can. Why not? So me and Jack are big YouTube fans, and our favorite one's Sidemen.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the Sidemen vodka?
Oh,
I just have to quickly talk about this.
I don't think I am. I think it's a bit much.
Anyways, I do love them.
They have like explicitly mentioned like it is their job. That's how they make money. So obviously like the sole intention behind the videos and the content that they make now isn't necessarily the content, but there is the content there. But another huge factor is them making a career. And I don't think maximizing profits works hand in hand with making the best content.
Good way to put it.
So obviously, like I think their content and the things that they're producing has been compromised somewhat. Obviously, like I doubt any of them are passionate about their own vodka label.
Probably not.
But obviously, yeah, they're making money, and that's like a very fair thing to do.
Good on them. Good on them. Sidemen doing well in general. My computer's about to die, so we have to.
That's a good reason.
Yeah, I know. No. Okay. So now we'll get on to the 10. So the 10 are 10 questions. I'll ask you guys and I want your perspectives on them.
Didn't we go through the 10 over the last like 2 hours?
No. This is the 10 now.
Okay.
Shut your mouth and listen. Joking. So, okay. So first question is, tell us about your most recent social media post, or why you don't, for example, you don't post that often on social media. Tell us why you don't post on social media.
Last time I posted was 85 weeks ago.
Ages
I
ago.
found that out last night.
Oh, there you go. Why don't you post on social media?
Oh, I got so stressed posting. I'd be thinking, fuck off. I'd be thinking
That's
about
fine, you don't.
who would like be seeing it. And then every time I'd post something, it was just too stressful. Although I do want to get back into social media, also to have a platform to like store specific memories.
Sure, that's why I post on Instagram so much, because it's like good memories, and you get to show like what's. Obviously, I'm not like, oh my god, I just did this, but like you get to look back and be like, oh yeah, I remember when I filmed that episode. I remember when I was out I don't know, the city doing whatever the hell I did. That's why I like it. Zane, what about yourself? What was your most recent one?
I don't know. I posted some like video that I edited with like a photographer friend of mine.
That was cool. That was a good video.
Yeah, you reckon?
Yeah, I told you how good edited it was. Remember?
Oh, thank you. It was a good experience. Very fun.
Edited really well.
It was different.
Yeah.
I actually deleted Instagram like.
Did you?
Yeah, like 4 or 5 days ago. Like
Oh,
I still
yeah.
have an account.
Yeah.
I check it on my computer, but I deleted it off my phone.
Just had enough of it?
You just got tiring, to be honest. Like
Fair enough.
constantly just checking it. It was just, I don't know. It just wasn't my thing. Like, it's good. And I check it on the computer for, like, notifications and stuff. And, like, I'm going to, like, upload work and stuff when I have work to upload.
Yeah.
But, no, I just wasn't a fan. Like, apart from movie stuff, I wasn't too fond of what I was seeing, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just wasn't fond of it. That's it.
Yeah,
What's the next question?
Oh, and what about you?
As I said last week, I love it. So, my recent one was what I put up. Oh god, I was at this nightclub. I went to a couple clubs and put up photos.
Nice.
It's a good quality photo.
Yeah.
And it was me and it was me and mate and brother, the main one, and just had a good time. Just a good night out. It's first actual club experience after COVID, so it was good.
Lovely.
Who is your biggest inspiration? This can be a celebrity, this can be your parents, it can be whoever you want. Just who's your biggest inspiration? Who wants to go first?
I'd say it's my grandpa. To be honest, would you like to know why?
Yeah, tell me a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's just like the way he handles family and like hardships and just everything he's been doing in life to get to where he is, and just pulling through and just being positive and doing his best. It's incredibly special. I can't even describe it, but I just I'm super proud of him.
That's good.
And he truly is my hero, and I always tell him, like, when I'm older I want to be just like you.
Fair enough. And Jack, yourself?
That's very lovely.
That was very lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nelson Mandela. Guys,
It was so random. No. It was just random. I was not expecting you to say Nelson Mandela. He's a great one. He's a great person. But reasoning.
Personal.
Do you know him? Is he like your dad or something?
Personal interest.
Yeah, fair enough. No, he was a great bloke.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. That's why I laughed.
What about you?
God, so many. No, it wasn't. Parents, obviously, teaching me how to live, and growing up and stuff. And then we're actually talking about my parents about this yesterday. Probably like LeBron, because he's good at so many different things, and he works so hard. And I just try to follow him. And also another one, KSI, was similar, because they both have like their main thing, but then they're also so good at so many other things, and they work so hard to get there.
KSI and who?
LeBron James.
Oh, LeBron, yeah.
My two celebrity ones.
Do you feel similar about that with like Dwayne Johnson?
Yeah. Just any celebrities that do really well and succeed at it, and multiple things, because that's what I want in the future.
Yeah.
Worst drunk experience.
Worst what?
Drunk experience. You don't have to go into detail.
Does it count if I greened out, or like it has to be alcohol?
Up to you.
Because I could say
drunk.
I could say I was drunk on weed.
Sure. Tell us about your drunk on weed experience.
Nah, it was just it was actually Jack was there for that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, just I don't know what happened, but like I had like 3 puffs of a joint, and then 5 minutes afterwards just ran into the bathroom and started throwing up for the next 4 hours.
Oh my god.
It was really bad. Like Jack Jack was really worried about me, and he was like trying to keep me awake and stuff.
Jack's a good man.
Yeah, he was good. He stayed in there for a long time, except when he went out to smoke more weed. No, I'm joking. He stayed with me the whole time.
Okay.
And it was very nice. And yeah, big shout out for that.
We love you, Jack. We love you, Jack.
Thank you.
And Jack, yourself, worst drunk experience?
I might go off of the weed one. Weed drunk. I was in a coffee shop in Amsterdam, and I was there with a friend and 2 other like mutual friends who had smoked 3 times a day for the entire year, the year prior. So obviously, like, you kind of want to keep up, and I couldn't, but I did anyway. So basically, about 10 minutes after entering the coffee shop, I was sitting on the toilet, suffocating.
Oh God,
And
lovely.
I couldn't breathe, and I was in there for a total of like 20-30 minutes, which felt like several hours.
Bloody hell.
It was quite pleasant.
Did you feel better after 30 minutes?
No.
Oh God. Oh God. Okay. Yeah.
What about you?
The Newcastle story. Do you know? Have I told you about the
No.
Newcastle story? Oh, it'll take too long. But
Okay.
like, it's I I was out in Newcastle and Hunter Valley, and I drank too much.
Nice.
And then
Classic.
it came out both ways the next
Oh.
that night. Yep.
Lovely.
Yep. Disgusting.
Bit of
Anyway.
Dr. Dog.
Oh, disgusting. Who was your first celebrity crush?
Oh yeah.
Mine's Megan Fox. For the Transformers.
Mm.
I was going to say Mother Teresa.
No, it's not fair.
Yeah, fair. I respect it.
Nah,
Has a mother-like figure. Huh?
She is.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Mother Teresa?
Yeah.
Good Jewish man.
Mm.
And she has nothing to do with the Jews. My computer's about to die.
Kinky Cleopatra shit.
My computer's on 9%.
no, it was my first celebrity crush. I don't know. That was a lot. I don't know.
Okay, all good. And you?
I forgot her name. Les Miserables.
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got you.
Your favourite activity to do? So it can be anything. What's your favourite thing to do?
Bouldering.
Yeah, bouldering.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
you always
fun.
tell me that. We've got to do that.
Yeah.
Zane?
Yeah, we should. Bouldering is fun. Recently, I've just been enjoying video games, but ultimately, I just like anything to do with movies. So
Movies.
going to the movies.
Yeah. You both know what mine is.
Oh gosh.
No.
Oh, clubbing.
No.
Basketball.
Yes.
Oh,
How do you not know?
I think all three.
No,
They are
you-
like three,
No,
they
you
are.
You failed the test.
They failed the test. They're like my big, obviously, they're my 3 favourite. But like
Yeah.
basketball's still number 1
Yeah,
always.
yeah, fair.
Best place you ever travelled to?
Best place I want to travel to.
Ever. You've ever travelled to?
Oh, best place I've ever traveled to. I really enjoyed going to LA.
Oh, I fucking love LA.
It felt like home when I got there,
Yep, same.
so it was very nice.
Yeah.
Mm.
Jack?
In Luxembourg, I was staying at the border between Germany, France, and Luxembourg in this place called Remishen. And it was like surreal. It was absolutely beautiful, but it was like that working with like the people that I met there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just
Seems nice.
really great.
And mine's either... Sorry guys, my phone is ringing. By the way, podcast Denver, stop calling me. Seriously. LA and New York, probably. I don't know. I love LA. I could live in LA. In New York, New York couldn't live there, but it's just so like New York is worth the hype, in my opinion.
It's pretty good.
You both got to go there if you haven't been. Have you been?
Yeah.
I know you haven't though, right?
No,
You
not
got to
too.
go. You have to.
Yeah.
Let me see. What are your goals in the next year or two? Doesn't have to be a whole list, but do you have any like big goals? There's something you want to get done?
Yeah, I just want to get this short film that I've been focusing on for a few years.
Yep.
I want to get that done.
Hopefully, I can help on some part.
Yeah, for
I'd
sure.
love to.
You're hired.
Oh mate, you
No.
know I want to. I'd be so mad. Not being a
No,
gaffer though. Fuck
we'll,
that.
We'll figure something
yeah,
out.
that's fine.
But yeah, I want to just get that done and like enter that into festivals and really make something out of that because it's important to me.
And so follow Zane's socials. We'll link him. We'll pull him. I'll put them in the description and put them in the end. But follow his socials for all stuff about short films. Okay. Jack, yourself.
Nice. I want to like set up some sort of like solid financial foundation that I
Yeah.
can like maintain for like not the rest of my life, but one that I can finally like stop worrying about like future finances, because I find like money takes up so much of my mind throughout the day.
It takes up mate, it's everybody.
Yeah.
Passive income.
Yeah,
So
and it like takes up time that I want to spend focusing on things I enjoy doing.
That's good.
And if I can set up something like that in the next 2 years, that'll
I think
be
so.
good.
That's just a really nice way of saying
Yeah.
that you don't want to work.
Yeah, pretty much. But that's fine.
Thank you.
We already alluded
Thank
to this
you.
before, but where do you see you guys and yourself in the next 5 years? You already spoke on this, but
Not properly though.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say making movies.
yeah, okay, just making movies and
Making movies, family.
family. We'll start a family in 5 years.
Wouldn't be too bad. Or like
25, yeah?
begin
26. So
begin to start a family.
yeah,
You
25.
know, like with just begin to start a family.
Fair enough.
Just get married.
Yeah, nothing.
Pop a ring.
We'll be
Honeymoon.
we'll be part of the what's the blokes that stand up when you're getting married? What are they called? God, I forgot the name of it.
Groomsmen.
Groomsmen. We'll be the groomsmen.
Yeah, you should like throw me a bachelor party where you
mate, you're gonna have the best bachelor party. If I'm throwing the bachelor party,
Yeah,
There won't be a
just
wedding if you're
no-
throwing the bachelor
no,
party.
mate.
Yeah, no.
mate.
No strippers, please.
No, there were definitely strippers. I hope the strippers at my bachelor party.
Okay, Jack, you're gonna throw the bachelor party. No, for real. Like
Yeah.
if you put strippers into my
won't.
bachelor party, like there
But
won't be a wedding. It's not a joke.
Okay, it's fine. It's all good. I'll remember that in
Yeah.
5 years. Jack, yourself.
I think like traveling around the world, but with like Sydney as a base. I don't know, maybe like living in Japan for a bit or Europe, and like having Sydney as a home still.
Fair enough.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I want to at least start thinking about my advertising business.
Yeah.
At least start, because I have a couple of years of degree I've done, a couple of years of work. Hopefully, start thinking about in business, and then I just want to. That's the main one. But I just want to be my own boss. Hopefully, or thought about it.
Yeah.
By then. Is there anything you're working on at the moment that like not like main work, but like something you haven't told people about or something you want to talk about? You know, like obviously my example is this podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would define as my main work and not. Like I've been doing editing, which has been like really great.
Yeah.
Worked on TV shows, like writing this film that I want to do. I don't know what the
Film.
the main work is.
I guess the film. You've been working out for what, over a year now?
3 years.
3 years now.
Wait, the film,
Yeah,
short film,
the short one.
Oh, that's like 3 years. I've been
3
writing
years,
it.
yeah.
So I'd say that's the main thing that
Yeah.
I'm really focused on, that I do want to get done.
Yeah, of what you told me about it seems really good.
Thank you.
So be on the lookout, everybody. And Jack, yourself?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Absolutely nothing.
Mate, that's fine. You don't have to be.
Yeah.
Working yourself? Would you say
Yeah,
you're working
always.
yourself? Well, that's good. There you go. Okay, this is one. I think I've told you my answer to this before. What is something you wish was legal in Australia? Do you remember what my answer was? I think
Marijuana.
yeah, but
Oh, is that what you said?
yeah, that's what mine is.
Oh, I made a joke. I didn't
No,
actually think
but
I
you
was
know
right.
did I tell you my reasoning for it though?
No.
Start my own business. It's
Oh,
one of
nice.
the most profitable businesses in the world.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you know you don't. It doesn't have to be illegal for you to start a business.
No, but I want it to be legal. But I want it for that reason. Like
Yeah.
Mike Tyson's made like multi, I think hundreds of millions.
He is a cooker.
Oh no, he's awesome. He makes so much money off his marijuana company
Yeah.
alone. Boys, anything you wish was legal in Australia?
Hmm?
Something you wish was legal in Australia?
Something I wish was legal in Australia. Isn't medical marijuana legal in Australia though? Is it not?
Oh, I don't know. I just mean it like properly,
Yeah, fair.
like America.
No, I don't. Yeah, I get you. Something I wish was legal in Australia.
Can be anything.
Same-sex marriage.
It is, isn't it? It is, yeah.
Cut that out, please.
Were you joking?
Yeah.
You don't
joking.
think same-sex marriage should be illegal?
No, I said it should be legal.
No, we're not debating
But
about
the
this.
point is, because there is already same-sex marriage.
We're
yeah,
not
So you're
joking.
saying it should be...
No, we're not debating about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry if I offended you, Jack.
You're good.
No.
Jack,
You're good, Zane.
go
I'm
on.
just worried about the hundreds of people you offended who are watching.
I'll agree with you, medical marijuana, like, because that stuff can like really help people.
I've heard.
Not even for business, but just like
Yeah, we're different. I
I've
want
seen
business.
the video where the guy's just like fully shaking and just,
Pumped.
then he
Takes a hit. Yeah, so
like no, he like eats it and then it's just like
yeah,
goes still.
supposedly. Yeah, supposedly it's meant to be great. And you?
They like assisted death.
Oh, euthanasia.
Yeah, they recently passed that in
It should.
New Zealand.
Yeah.
You okay?
I'm good. No, so the way New Zealand does it is if the doctor says the person's projected to die within 6 months based on like their terminal illness or something, they have the option for assisted death.
Yeah, which is it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, and that is not a thing in Australia, I believe.
It's not. It's illegal.
Yeah, so I think that should be the thing.
Hey, good. Yeah, it's good. I respect it. Okay, now this week's W's and L's I was explaining what this meant to you guys before. My week's W was I put up my first episode of the podcast, and it's been perceived some pretty good. I'm happy with all the feedback I've got. And then my L, I've been sick all week, so I've sat at home, been bored until yesterday. So you boys, any W's or L's?
I got a gig on Married at First Sight. Not on the show. Like I'm not on the show. Like I'm behind the scenes.
It's great. Good on you, buddy. One of the biggest shows on Channel 9.
Is it?
I think it is.
I don't know.
That or what Voice? Did they do the Voice on Channel 9?
I think it's on Channel 7.
I don't know.
Survivor.
No, Survivor's Channel 7.
But yeah, like
it's one of the biggest shows.
I'm keen to get on it.
Yeah, I'm very happy for you. Well done.
What's a loss?
Any losses?
What's a loss? Wasting my time sleeping and not grinding.
Nice.
Fair enough.
That's a joke. I don't know.
That's
Absolute
fine. Jack, anything? Any dubs?
Dub, I reckon. Wait, dubs win, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Dub, like, I don't know, I got a $7.50 tip. Cheers.
We'll take it.
Yeah. Thank you.
And your L?
Actually, no, proper dub is I saw a comment and I think I got someone a job from one of my resumes.
That's good. Well done.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
No, it's great. Good stuff.
And L, can't really think of any.
And nothing. No, it can be something pathetic if you really want it to be.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I nearly slipped. Yeah.
That's pretty pathetic.
Yeah.
That is very pathetic.
Thank you.
Well, that's everything, boys. Do you want to shout out anything? Maybe talk about something you're working in the future, social media that you want to shout out, or your resumes you want to shout out? Anything in particular?
If anyone needs a resume written, go to Invivify. They make premium cover letters, resumes, and LinkedIn profiles.
I'll leave that in the description. And Zane, yourself, anything to shout out?
I was gonna say something about crypto. I was gonna say like invest in Solana. No. I don't have anything to shout out, but I'll shout you out and say a big thank you.
Thanks
for having me on here because I was pretty nervous earlier, and then after
you did well. You did really well.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Thank you. Well,
both did.
I was pretty nervous, and then like it chilled out, and it was good, and the beer was good, and yes, very very great hospitality from everyone here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ray's Entertainment.
Thank you.
Oh shit! I've just realised the camera is not recording. It's alright. We're gonna just replay over it. It's fine. Yeah, because guys, we're filming this as well, and the camera doesn't record longer than half an hour, and we've got 8 minutes over half an hour, so it doesn't matter. Do you want to say your Instagrams or anything, or I'll put them in the bottom of the description anyway. So if you want to follow the boys, if you don't know who they are, please go check me out on YouTube. We're posting this on Ray's Entertainment every Monday around 10 o'clock, and then go on Spotify and Apple Podcasts for the Reupload podcasts, which I'm thinking about. I might start posting that a bit earlier possibly, but if not, it'll be Monday at 10 o'clock. And of course, go follow Sam_Fraser_ on Instagram. That's me. And this is the second episode of the Reupload podcast. Thanks for watching.